Hi, my name is Gómez, and as you can see, I'm from Colombia. As a quick background, I did a double majors in systems and computing engineering and mathematics, and I'm currently working as a machine learning engineer. I'll be presenting some possible directions of research which should be beneficial to expand on the work done in this paper titled Here's a Free Lunch, Sanitizing Backdoor Models with Model Merge. As I wrote in my personal statement, I've come to realize that the papers I enjoy reading the most are usually those on interpretability, and while I was reading this particular paper, I found some interesting behaviors that might be candidates for further interpretability work. In particular, I was surprised by the fact that weight averaging would, in a single, rather simple operation, both sanitize backdoors while also preserving most of the model's capabilities, even when merging models that were fine-tuned for different tasks. When I first read it, I found this to be by no means an intuitive or expected behavior, since just averaging out weights does not a priori look like it would do anything meaningful. But as it turns out, it definitely does. Although for me this finding poses a lot more questions than answers. How does this seemingly naive operation, if I can say so myself, differentiate between undesired and normal behavior with absolutely no additional information? When merging cross-domain models, will we see a similar performance drops on its respective domains as we saw on the attack success rate of the backdoor model, or there is something special about the backdoor one? And can we learn something deeper about the inner workings of our algorithms, datasets, and learning methods by trying to answer the prior points? These three are the main questions that I hope to answer with my proposed research agenda. Considering the prior points, the first natural direction of research for me would be to explore the performance of cross-domain merges. Specifically, what is the task-specific performance of a model merged from cross-domain models, and will the performance drop in each task be similar to the performance drop in attack success rate for backdoor models? For this, we can evaluate the accuracies on different downstream tasks after merging their corresponding fine-tuned models using different proportions of Poisson data. And if we do this experiment and the answer to the last question happens to be no, then there is something deeper about the structure of backdoor models or datasets that we should analyze. It's my hypothesis that for many tasks, that will indeed be the case. To analyze such scenarios, I would first try to use task vector arithmetics to try to understand why our weight averaging method works the way it does. This image is taken from the task vectors arithmetics paper and clearly illustrates what they are. In here, theta sub pre is where the weight vector of our pre-trained model falls in our vector space. Then theta sub ft is the resulting location after fine-tuning. And task vectors, as described in El Arco et al., are just the difference between the weight vector of a fine-tuned model and the weight vector of its base pre-trained model. With this simple notion, we can reformulate our weight average method to be described almost entirely by task vectors. From this formula and upon a closer inspection, we can see in red what is the actual most important part of the expression. Simple task vector arithmetics is what separates our result from the pre-trained model. Moreover, holding on to the hypothesis that weight averaging affects backdoor tasks differently than other benign tasks, we must infer that there should be something about how all the benign task vectors relate to each other that differs from the backdoor task vectors. In other words, we should expect quantizable and geometrical differences between theta sub p and the rest of task vectors. With this in mind, we can ask ourselves specific questions that will lead to many experiments to get a better grasp of what is going on. Here is a list of many of them, which I don't have the time to describe in detail, so feel free to pause. One additional interesting direction of research will be to group triplets of fine-tuned models and use the methods described in Garipov et al. To visualize their lost surfaces. It would be particularly interesting to see what characteristics has the lost surface of the plane spun by one backdoor model with two other benign models and compare that to the lost surfaces generated by three cross-domain benign models. I have some more ideas and research directions, mainly using mechanistic interpretability. For lack of time, I'll just leave them here. And that's all. Thank you.